And Rob Lowe. Jump. Just checking some late, there were some late changes to the Taranaki starting five due to illness, and a little laugh there between referee Hayden Pipe and coach Dave Bublitz as everything is confirmed with the score bench. And we are underway for round 9. It's Rob Lowe who gets the tip and goes back to Nick Kay, and it's going to be Shea Illy who brings up the ball for the first possession of round 9 in the South New Zealand NBL. Just weapons everywhere for the Wellington Saints, and here's one of them, Nick Kay, one of their most potent. He's going to go to the foul line.
Well, starts out just banging him inside with the big-bodied Nick Kay, which is where you'd expect them to put a lot of work in. If I'm the Taranaki Mountainairs, I don't want to get in foul trouble on a shot like that. What I'm really trying to do is get Nick Kay, Rob Lowe in fouls trouble on the other side of the court. They're a little thin up front tonight, and that could be a way towards victory for them.
Looking to make it 2 championships for Nick Kay in 2019, having won the Australian NBL with the Perth Wildcats.
Titles everywhere.
He can't make it 2 from 2 from the line. Here comes Justin Cousin. Here is the dangerous Chris Early, looking to get himself involved early.
Double entendre, but not really, just the same word.
Shea Illy looks for Nick Kay in the post. There's a bit of a mismatch down there, and to make up for it, they leave Jordan Ngatai wide open, but he can't hit. And away comes Early. His Cousin shooting the 3, and he drills it. Mountaineers are on the board.
Excellent primary bait, pushing the ball off the rebound, not giving the Saints a chance to set on defense.
Nice pass from Shea Illy, but Jordan Ngatai just couldn't bring it in. Rob Lowe, that's easy. That's an easy drop in there from the 2 bigs. Good vision there from Rob Lowe.
Well, lovely pass from Rob Lowe. Nick Kay, not a guy you want to lose underneath the basket. His defender has to be within arm's length of him, having a body on him at all times.
This is going to be the problem, isn't it, Casey, for the Mountaineers, as it is the problem for most teams. It's just so many weapons. Where do you concentrate your efforts?
Well, you can see earlier they're looking at doubling in the post there and going to dare the Saints to make some of those outside shots, but got to pay attention to both bigs because both Rob Lowe and Nick Kay will cut down to that weak side block to try and get some position there. Aaron Knoll getting handsy like it's closing time at the bar. Gets called for a foul underneath.
Aaron Bailey-Knoll and Nick Kay just introducing each other to each other down in the post. There's Ruben Tarangi off the curl. And Rob Lowe, another nice pass from the new breaker down to the old breaker. And the Saints lead 5-3 here early at TSB Arena in Wellington.
Executing very well, but the off-ball defense has not been fantastic for the Mountaineers early. They're going to have to shore that up.
There's Dane Brooks driving on Ruben Tarangi, and that's a nice finish from the new Plymouth native.
Dane Brooks, mega athlete, really showed off a nice, clever finish there, going underneath the contact.
Shea Illy with his early release from 3. Can't get it to drop. And Aaron Bailey-Knoll snaffles in the rebound. And away goes Justin Cousin. Looks inside. And that's a nice transition basketball from the Taranaki Mountaineers, finished off by Xavier Short.
Nice finish in transition, and that looks like they're going to get a lot of success before that defense sets up.
It's well defended. Justin Cousin on the step back from Shea Illy. They've gone and given it away to Nick Kay and Rob Lowe.
Just a little sloppy with the ball handling, and Nick Kay jumped all over it.
Kay is a potent post player. Opts for the jump shot. You know how defensive-minded this Wellington Saints team is. With a coach like Paulie Henare, it's hard not to be. Oh, the deep 3 there from Justin Cousin.
Catch and shoot. Several feet back off the line, and secondary transition there. The Saints not look really locked in defensively just yet.
Rob Lowe tries to answer back, but he can't. Yeah, Justin Cousin from Burlington, North Carolina. But he does qualify as a local.
Nice. What a pickup that is. How much research have you done? Do you know how he qualifies as a local?
No.
Well, the first step was a solid one, though.
We'll find out, though.
Let's do that.
Here's Dane Brooks. Bring the ball up for the Mountaineers.
Let's hear you, Wellington.
He's got two Saints in front of him. Drops back to the big man, Xavier Shaw. Thinks about the three.
He
Made a
thinks,
good decision.
and then he sinks. Xavier Shaw with the hesitation should have been none because it was nothing but net.
The Taranaki Mountaineers are out to what we have to describe as a surprising lead.
Well, this is a team that consistently outperforms themselves against the Wellington Saints, and early in the first quarter is no difference. They're playing very well offensively, in particular on the break. The half court haven't had as much success, though.
Oh, there's Rob Lowe showing his late, denying Justin Cousin under the hoop.
On the other side of the court, Paul Henare not very pleased with the pace at which the Saints are playing right now. He wants Shea Ely to really push the ball and get back and put pressure on this Mountainair team who's a little bit short-handed this evening.
But leading by 8. As Justin Cousins steps back on Shea Ely, and Ely does well to defend. We know he's an elite defender, Shea Ely, and he shows it there. Ely tries to find Rob Lowe, but good collapsing defense from the Mountaineers. Jordan Arte can't hit the three. He might get another chance here. Tarangi resets. 5 on the shot clock. Rob Lowe looks out to Kay, and that's nice passing from the Wellington Saints, and Ngatai puts it away under the hoop.
Of their 7 points, they've had a couple of buckets. Almost half their points, over half their points have been from just careless defensive assignments being missed. Got to stick with your man, especially on those second chance opportunities.
It's Chris Early for 3. Can't get it to drop. Nice rebound from Xavier Shaw. It's got Rob Lowe in front of him. Back to Aaron Bailey-Knoll. There's Shaw from deep. Trying to make it 2 from 2, but he can't.
Got really excited after that first one, felt more comfortable in the second.
Leon Henry and Tom Abercrombie get ready to come in for the Wellington Saints as Ruben Tarangi throws the 3 up. Comes off the front iron.
A lot of good looks for the Saints that are not dropping early, but you got to like those shots. They're in rhythm. A lot of them are wide open. If they keep getting looks like that, most of them will drop.
Shaw from mid-range. He finds the bottom of the net.
Xavier Shaw showing the touch. Outside the 3, that one from the elbow. Got to pay a lot of attention to him in the half court.
If you want to follow along with the live stats, FIBALivestats.com. All the numbers from tonight's game. There's Rob Lowe's there to put the rebound straight back in.
Taranaki really needs to finish those possessions off with rebounds as Justin Cousin misses that one.
Illy throws it up, but Ngatai, who goes and gets it.
Well, poor defensive matchups. Once that turnover occurred, they had to find a body and put on. Instead, they let Shea Ely have an open passing lane, and nobody guarded Jordan Ngatai down the lane either, letting him get the easy jam off the alley-oop. Much to the delight of the home crowd.
Welcome back to Wellington to TSB Arena.
Timeout called, and as you can see, some exciting news for both the New Zealand Breakers and Sky Sport this week. Partnered up for the next 4 years. Sky Sport securing the naming rights for the Breakers, who will now be known as the Sky Sport Breakers, and will also broadcast the Australian NBL for the next 4 years. Every game in the league will be live on Sky Sport, and 14 of them, 14 Breakers games, will be live and free to air on Prime, plus any finals games the Breakers play. And there's new signing RJ Hampton, displaying the jersey with the owner Matt Walsh.
Yeah, exciting time for the Breakers, exciting time for basketball in this country. There we see that picture of RJ Hampton, who's truly an elite prospect and will be playing in the NBA in a very short amount of time. But I mean, great for basketball in this country to have a 4-year naming rights deal. I think it really shows the synergies between the sport and what's being shown on Sky, and excited to be able to have the chance to view it on television for a long time ago. It really does secure the team fiscally speaking, so they can go concentrate on other aspects that they like, shoring up the team and the talent level.
And I imagine some plush leather chairs for us, Casey, and maybe a parking spot right outside the arena.
You get a parking spot?
I imagine we will now.
Oh.
Sky Sport Breakers.
I thought you're the roving reporter for Sky. You don't get to sit down at the Breaker games.
True. It's Houston O'Reilly into the game It's a screen from Big Thane O'Leary. And a corner for three, and the Mountaineers are shooting the ball very well. That's Dane Brooks from the corner.
Nice find by Houston O'Reilly, coming off and drawing that defense into the lane. 4 for 7 3-pointers of the Taranaki Mountainairs. What a fantastic start for them from behind the arc.
0 for 5 for the Saints. Their own rims not being very friendly to them. Rim Tarangi tries them out again. No luck. O'Leary with the rebound. Close contact from Nick Kay, and the big brother goes, you know what, I'll just bring it up. And he does. Drops it off to O'Reilly, who shoots a long two. Can't get it to drop, and it's good work. Rebounds from Dane Brooks. The little floater. Mitch Dance.
Could not quite get that one to fall there. Looks like a 7, actually number 1. I was confused for a second. I thought Houston O'Reilly was a 7 as well.
There's Tom Abercrombie for his first points as a Wellington Saint. He can't get the rims to help him either, but good boards from Leon Henry, who finds Nick Kay.
Well, a lot of damage being done on the offensive glass by the Wellington Saints in the first quarter. That initial defense has been solid by the Mountainairs, but they struggle to finish the possessions with those defensive boards.
Good work from Leon Henry, and Ruben Tarangi comes away with it. Jordan Nartai. Henry will shoot the wide open three. Can't get it to drop either.
Great looks. Possession after possession for the Saints, though.
Well, Taranaki Mountainairs have to capitalize on this poor shooting, don't they? Because it's not going to last all night, you'd think. Casey Frank.
No, though, as they get settled into the game, you'd expect some of these shots to go, but they've been doing a good job right now of finding seams in the defense, as on that pass from Houston O'Reilly to Mitch Dance with a strong finish underneath.
I'm trying to work out the last game Tom Abercrombie played in the New Zealand NBL. We worked out it was in a final against Casey's team, which you won, Casey. Oh, nice spin move from Abercrombie. It's well defended, though. Mitch Dance, but there's Nick Kay again, and they're getting second chance points, aren't they?
Well, rebound after rebound. Timeout called by Taranaki there. Dave Bublitz has seen enough of those offensive rebounds. He's going to have to figure out a way to keep Nick Kay and company off the glass. And I certainly do remember that last game for Thomas Abercrombie in the NBL, playing for the Waikato Pistons at the time.
I got 55 here. Lee, you're on ball.
It's a good win. I should remind him about it after the game.
Let's go. Tommy, you roam. You roam right now. So we got Shilly and Natai here, Robbie, you're back here. Get involved too if you think. Right, so as soon as that thing goes in, Lee, go trap that. All right, opposite guard, take away, inbound passer. Sustain that pressure right now. We have no fouls. To me, that tells me we're not being aggressive enough at the defensive end. They're still too comfortable. They can get whatever they want. All right, we're not a team that has no fouls at this stage of the quarter. So we got to pick that shit up. All right, let's go.
Well, never one to mix words is Paulie Henare, especially when he doesn't like a defensive effort out there.
A lot of pressure when you're playing for the national team, coach, and you're hoping to make that national team. Well, a lot of these guys are, but certainly keeps them playing to a high standard, which is why they're sitting on top of the table with an undefeated record, but always looking to improve.
Well, here's some classic Wellington Saints full court press, and it's reaped dividends for them already. Poor old Oscar Robertson. Great basketballing name.
Solid name right. Solid name right there. And we're just trying to figure it out here. I started to think that maybe Tommy's last game wasn't actually against us. Might have been against the Hawks. I don't know. All those title games kind of blend.
Oh, sorry. Five-time New Zealand NBL champion.
The fifth one doesn't really count. Only played during the regular season. But I'll take it.
I would. The Wellington Saints ball under the hoop. Shaley finds Rob Lowe. That's Jordan Nartai. Nice little baby hook.
But just too easy, given that kind of position underneath the basket. Now the pressure is picked up. Paulinari's challenged these guys to pick up the defense, and we see another level of intensity lifting.
Some of the younger players on the court as well for the Taranaki Mountainairs. pretty daunting defense in front of them. Oh, and there was a nice possession from the Taranaki Mountainairs, but the shot clock hadn't started.
Well, they've got to be pleased that they were able to beat the pressure that time. Got to do a better job of not getting the ball in those deep corners, allowing the sidelines to become extra defenders. There's nowhere to go. They're being pressured for that first catch really low underneath that hash mark, deep in the corner, which is the last place you want to be when you're trying to break a press.
Hayden Pipe just trying to work out how many seconds are on the shot clock. 20 it will be. Oscar Robertson will inbound.
20. Well, started at 21. Glad they took that extra second.
Yeah. Took a wide open three away from the Mountaineers. It's Houston O'Reilly looking to get some separation to him and Shea Ellie, but Shea Ellie, such a good defender.
The ball will stay with the Mountaineers here in the half court, but the ball handling has been tough for Taranaki. There's been several instances where they just have lost the ball at no fault of the defense, just can't quite handle it.
There's Houston O'Reilly down the lane. Puts up the float of it. It was a bit rushed.
Looked like a lot of contact on that shot there by Quentin Bailey, but doesn't get the call.
It's Rob Lowe the other way, but that's a sloppy pass.
Rob Lowe trying to say it was off somebody. I do not think it was.
Marty Davison, the crew chief, does. It will be.
Rob Lowe sold that one. Unless there was an angle where I couldn't quite see it from, but it looked like it came off his hand straight out of bounds. Always good to get the benefit of the doubt, though.
Well, he's a good actor, isn't he, Rob Lowe?
Well, it depends.
It's great in the West Wing.
He's good at the flop.
Shea Ellie getting the screen from Lowe, and he throws it up to him. Oscar Robertson, good work from him. And it's going to be Mountaineers' ball, which Rob Lowe's not happy about, but I think it might have just evened things out a little bit there.
Everything comes in roundabouts.
Switch dance finds Houston O'Reilly. It's been a Mountaineer since 2015, O'Reilly. Long-time player in the New Zealand NBL, started in 2012 with the Auckland Pirates. Well, this time Abercrombie in some open space, he goes up, two-handed slam, and that's one way to ingratiate himself to the new fans.
He loves the fast break, and his first points out is the same, hanging off the rim. That's the way to start the Saints tenure.
Well, that's the way you dream of it, wouldn't you? First quarter in the books here. The Saints have caught up. The Mountaineers lead, however, 20 points to 19.
Time, powerless to resist.
Come on, love, get up. Wake up. Wake up, love. Carla, come on, get up and get out. Sweetheart, get up and get out. Get out!
When you sleep, you lose your sense of smell. So make sure you check your smoke alarms. Just press the button.
All done.
I thought my teeth were clean, but my dentist said no, there's still plaque. Switch your brush from this to one with a rounded brush head.
Oral-B is rounded to reach between teeth and gums, gently removing plaque for healthier gums. Oral-B, brush like a pro.
Sonny, make some noise for Sonny. Here we go.
Well, if you just joined us, a surprising scoreline after one quarter in the books. But a great start from the Taranaki Mountaineers, who could be leading by more. Terrible shooting night so far for the Wellington Saints, who are 0 for 8, Casey Frank, from beyond the arc.
And they've been fantastic looks for the hole. Dave Bublitz has to know that he's been pretty lucky on the defensive end up to this point. He's got to find a way to lock down that defense a little bit better. If they can take better care of the basketball, this lead would be much bigger than the 1 point it is now.
Make some noise for the contestants.
So Paulie Henner, they might not be too worried on the scoreline, given the looks that they have had. But he has asked his team to maybe go off script a little bit more. But that's running through the motions a little too much so far.
Well, Paulinari's a coach, so he's never worried, always concerned. Will be consistently pressuring his team to do better, to be better. because at this point in the game, the Taranaki Mountainairs aren't really who they're playing against. It's really their own talent level.
Well, let's have a quick chat to Dave Bublitz, the Taranaki coach, and a good start, Dave, and trying to capitalise on the Saints' shooting woes.
Yeah, we just need to make sure that we do a better job of looking after the ball, really. I suppose they had shooting woes against Nelson early too, and then they got going. So if we can just keep the pressure on them a little bit and hopefully, I guess, just make sure that our rules are kept to, then hopefully we can continue with the shooting woes, as you say.
Offensively, the Saints team is so difficult to contend with. Are you concentrating on one area defensively, or are you just hoping that solid defense will take the majority of their options away?
Oh, look, we talked about stapling to one side of the court. They like swinging the ball, and when they swing the ball, they're very difficult to stop. So we've just been kind of talking about trying to keep it on one side of the floor as much as we can.
Thanks, Coach.
Cool.
Appreciate the time of the coaches during the game. Tom Abercrombie gets it all swatted out of his hands. Wellington Saints inbound, lead 21-20. It's Taranaki, surrounded by Mountainairs. Abercrombie grabs his rebound. Turnaround, fade away over early. Can't get it to drop.
Physical defense being played by the Airs on that possession have picked up that level of physicality just a bit, making it more difficult for those bunnies inside.
Xavier Shaw runs into a Leon Henry-shaped dead end. Houston O'Reilly gives it to Aaron Bailey. No!
Aaron Noel with the jumper, had no confidence in it going in, as we see a long turnover by Shea Ely trying to get the ball down to Leon Henry, but Aaron Noel was quick on the boards after that shot, but nothing but net to retake the lead by 2.
Houston O'Reilly runs into a block, and Shea Ely just goes up and puts that easily in with one hand, and it's those turnovers at half court that the Mountaineers just can't afford.
Yeah, those careless turnovers, got to really recognize where these defenders are coming from and do something to avoid them a bit sooner.
O'Reilly finds Shaw, defended well by Rob Lowe.
Well executed, just got to get that finish. Is a really nice look.
Abercrombie finds Tarangi. Still can't get the 3-ball to drop. The Wellington Saints 0 for 9.
I have no doubt they'll keep shooting.
There's Chris Early, a man that Mountaineers need to keep attacking, and he does. And it's a nice left-handed finish over Rob Lowe.
Chris Early really attacking the quickness of Rob Lowe. He's got to back himself in that one, as he did.
Spent 4 years at college at Chattanooga. Shea Ely makes it over 10 from 3 for the Saints.
Another offensive rebound. The bane of this Naki defense at the moment. Oof, that's...
Rob Lowe going Aaron Bailey. No, he doesn't like the call. But
yeah, I don't know about that call. There's no contact that Aaron Knowles making there that isn't being created by Rob Lowe. Aaron Knowles holding his ground quite well, I might add, giving up about 6 inches to Rob Lowe. I don't know exactly why that's a foul on Aaron Knowles on that one. Looks like standard post contact.
And is there a more frustrating man to get a foul called on you when you're defending the Rob Lowe, who will let you know? Abercrombie for 3.
I don't know, that might be a bit more than he can chew, so he might want to stay away from that bite.
0 for 11, the Saints from 3. Justin Cousin brings it up. It's a screen from Xavier Shaw. That's what we call as a backcourt violation. But the referee's going to discuss, because there might be a question here that Shea Ely tapped it back. And he did, as a decision against Ely's protests.
Shot clock stays at 14 for the rest of this possession.
Justin Cousin, Shea Ely in front of him. Finds Dane Brooks. Xavier Shaw for 3. He's made 1 already. Can't make it 2. Shot clock expires, but came off the rim, so play on. Away comes Tom Abercrombie and the Wellington Saints. Ruben Tarangi thinks twice about the drive to the baseline. And that is an offensive foul called against Rob Lowe.
Well, I think he might have been a little bit hard done there. He did have his elbow in Chris Early's throat, but to be fair, it was just standing there pretty statically. As we see the replay here, gets the arm up and the elbow, slips up. Good sell by Chris Early.
It might have been a bit of a hand on shoulder action there from Lowe. He grabs the towel and takes a seat. Like a naughty teenager sent to his room. Justin Cousin trying to match Shea Ili for pace. Not an easy task, but he might be up to it. It's Aaron Bailey-Noel with a long two. And Nick Kay takes the rebound. Paulie Hinade will be perfectly happy giving up shots like that, I think. Abercrombie drives into the lane. Round Bailey-Noel is fouled.
That's going to be his third foul with 6.5 to go here in the second quarter. And with the short bench that they have, it's going to be quite difficult. And the 5th team foul as well.
I got a corked thigh there, Abercrombie.
You're going to get a lot of corked everything if you're trying to drive on Aaron Noel. Auntie, as he is known around the league, has been a stalwart in this competition, winning a championship with the Wellington Saints back in 2003.
If you're wondering where Tom Abercrombie's been since 2011, overseas assignments have been his call at the end of every Breakers season since then. Stints in France, Spain and Turkey, as well as some NBA summer camps over the years. There's Nick Kay, he's double teamed. He finds Taranaki, drives in low. Foul called there on Dane Brooks.
And it has been a fantastic opportunity for Thomas Abercrombie to ply his trade following Breaker seasons at the higher levels in Europe. He played in Turkey, having played in France. But as the family starts to get a little bit older, the body gets to be a little bit sore. Sometimes it's good to take a bit of time off and then get yourself right here in the local competition. As Jordan Naitai tries to go upstairs, but can't quite finish with Xavier Shaw.
Justin Cousin the other end, can't get the three to drop. The game is certainly picking up pace as Taranaki comes the other way, finds Nata, he finishes this one.
Well, couldn't get the dunk, but nice finish off the pass from Ruben Taranaki on the fast break. Aggressive show by Leon Henry in the all-ball screen.
26-25, the Saints lead. Speaking of aggressive, there's Aaron Bailey-Noel. Gets it to drop and fouled.
Well, I like this team offensively much more when they're aggressive and going at the rim, trying to put the Saints on the back foot. They have had quite a few looks, so they've been settling for those, and it served them well early, but if they continue to be passive and just take those jump shots, I think that will play into the Saints' favor, so I'd love to see more plays like that.
Dave Bublitz, the Taranaki coach, a teacher at New Plymouth Boys High, which makes the matchup they have with the Manawatu Jets ever so tasty, as Coach Tim McTamney of the Jets is a teacher at Palmerston North Boys High. Two schools with a great rivalry. Ruben Taranaki finds Nick Kay with a nice pick and roll. Kay takes a contact and can't finish.
I think Dan Brooks going to end up getting that block. Showing off that athleticism.
Houston O'Reilly goes around the back, buys himself a bit of space. Wants the screen from Bailey-Noel, he gets it, threads the gap through Henry. Xavier Shaw from the baseline, long two.
Xavier Shaw's a nice ability on the catch and shoot here in the first half.
He's up to 9, Shaw.
All on jump shots as well.
The Mountaineers are more than hanging around with the Wellington Saints. Foul there called on Aaron Bailey-Noel. Sorry, on Houston O'Reilly.
Yeah. Thought it might have been Huey late there, getting a hand in. After Ruben Taranaki used a superior ball handling ability to get around that double team and into the lane. The Mountaineers got to be happy, still have that 4-point lead.
Thane O'Leary comes into the game. Good to see him back on his feet after what happened to him last weekend against the Southern Huskies.
What do you mean? You mean you?
I think we have the dunk. You see Ruben Tarangi's shot go in, and this is Thane O'Leary last week doing his best to get in the way of big Jalen Billups from the Southern Huskies.
He did try to put his body on the line.
Oh! You just see the soul fall out of his body there.
We show it on this side. He's actually making a layup in the game while we're showing the highlight of that. He took that insult from you, Hugh, and he channeled it into 2 points on the fast break.
I'm always happy to be a positive influence.
the Saints come back quickly off the made bucket and end up getting fouled.
32-28 to the Taranaki Mountainairs here in a pretty quiet TSB arena on the Wellington waterfront.
Yeah, not as full a crowd as you would expect, probably hampered by the Thursday night start here, but quite possibly hampered by as well as a bit of overconfidence against this Taranaki Mountainair team and getting all they can handle in the first half.
Well, the Saints almost have as many championships as Taranaki have players on their roster. Tom Abercrombie checks into the game for Shea Illy.
Coming into the game for the Saints. Number 10, Tom Abercrombie for number 55, Shea Illy.
And it is quiet in here, isn't it, Casey Frank?
Well, the unexpected will always keep the crowd quiet. They were not expecting this. They were expecting highlight reels, Thomas Abercrombie's coronation as a Saint here in the first game, but instead they get a hard-nosed team that's showing no quit.
Mitch Dance going through a lot of pressure from the Mountaineers. Oscar Robertson's open in the corner. Can't get it to drop, and Ruben Tarangi pulls in the rebound. 0 for 11 the Saints are from 3. Stain O'Leary fouls Tarangi.
Excellent patience by Ruben Tarangi there. Really used a plethora of moves, given that little head fake. Went to the left, went to the right, and just a bit too much quickness.
What a 2019 he's had for the Brisbane Bullets. Named Most Improved Player and 6th Man of the Year, the Australian NBL.
Did a great job of going over to Brisbane after a disappointing season or two with the Breakers, where his career had really stalled. Followed Andre Lamanis over there and picked up his work ethic, kept working on his game, and has really bounced back as we have a timeout by the Taranaki. Wanted to talk it over one more time.
Dave Bublitz wants to talk it over with the referee, Callum Welsh, as well. They lead 32-31 to the Taranaki Mountaineers. After some, well, I want to call it smack talk on Twitter from long-time
always smack talk.
Saints owner or CEO, Nick Mills. He's played a few roles around the club. That's certainly one of the leaders of the club. Around the announcement from the New Zealand NBL that there will be a competitive balance system starting in 2020.
So we just need to go place down here and here, right? Okay? Zane, ball out. Mitchie, you're setting the screen for Hugh. Hugh, you get it. Yep, Mitchie, go to the middle. Stand in the middle.
Which means, of course, that there'll be a salary floor introduced, as well as a salary cap. So teams are going to have to spend over a certain number on their roster, but can't spend over another number. They can, but they're going to have to play. It's a soft cap, so they have to pay a luxury tax if they do. And really, these are the two teams that are a good illustration of it. Wellington Saints crammed with international talent, and the Taranaki Mountaineers not so.
Yeah, I hope it does work out. I think it is difficult in a league like this, where firstly, players aren't really making enough money to transfer from club to club for a higher salary. That's not really the way this league works. Most guys who are outside of the Tall Blacks who are playing professionally overseas or in the Australian NBL, these guys are mostly locals who live and work in the towns that they're playing at. So if it can spread some of that top-level talent around a little bit more, that would be great to see, because you always like to see a bit of parity and have multiple teams having a chance to vie for a title. Even though many a time the Saints are another top-heavy favorite, and is thought to be unbeatable and to be proven wrong down the stretch.
O'Reilly, 0.5 on the shot clock. Mitch Dance get it up, he can.
Got it off right in time, just before the clock. What a finish. Over the defense and flopping it around.
Well, I think fans want to see a fair fight, don't they? As Ruben Tarangi goes in, and it's going to be goaltending there from Chris Early, so the 2 points will count. Fans want to see a fair fight in any sporting event they go to. And the salary floor and cap system goes some way to address that. Snow O'Reilly using Stain O'Leary to get past the full court press, and the big man's going to go all the way. He thought about it. Said he finds Chris Early, drives baseline over Rob Lowe. Can't finish it.
Stain O'Leary is really showing some good handles in that full court. His physique may not indicate that ball handling ability, but the skill set certainly does.
Well, that's a sight we're used to seeing, isn't it? Abercrombie off the dribble with a pull-up.
He really loves to get that dribble to get his jump shot in motion.
There's Mitch Dance, Jordan Nartai. Bit of a hook there, but he gets away with it, and Dane Cook gets fouled and one.
Nice job moving without the basketball from the other side of the court by Cook there. Cutting through off that far side. And is able to be found with that cut. As Mitch Dance drops it off after doing all the hard work inside, and a nice finish through the contact for the young fella.
Dane Brooks has been with the Mountaineers since 2013. He's 22 now, so he's grown up with them. So Abercrombie finds Rob Lowe wide open in the corner. The two Breakers teammates can't connect there. It's over 12, the Wellington Saints from beyond the arc. A lot of pressure on defense from the Saints. Less so on Thane O'Leary.
His defense is all over him, really pushing him far beyond that three-point line where you'd like to initiate your offense normally.
Houston O'Reilly tries to shoot up from the free throw line, but finds nothing.
Look, they need to start attacking this pressure defense with the pass. The dribble is not doing it. Need to set some good, solid screens away from the basketball and open up those passing lanes, because right now everyone's in denial that's off the ball. If two defenders come around the basketball, they're trapping and making ball handling very difficult for these guards.
Another shot clock issue here in Wellington. Justin Cousin comes into the game for Dane Brooks. And how do you think Tom Abercrombie's lungs are, Casey? He hasn't played a game of basketball since the last game of the Breakers season.
That dude's a specimen. His lungs are always okay. He's barely breathing. He's built like a gazelle.
Last game of the Breakers season was in this building, wasn't it?
It certainly was. Finished off here against the Illawarra. And not the prettiest of games, but a victory for the Breakers.
All sorts of clock issues here at TSB Arena, but Marty Davis and the crew chief's happy. So Tom Abercrombie inbounds the ball to Shea Illy. They trail the unbeaten Wellington Saints 37-35 to the Taranaki Mountainairs. Nick Kay wildly throws it into the third row.
He's begging for the contact, but right now this is a physical game, and the referees are letting them play at a physical level, especially on the basketball in the post.
It's Houston O'Reilly. I said before the game that the Mountaineers will need Chris Early to have a game. Just 2 points from the import, 1 of 4. It's Justin Cousin skipping into the lane. Finds Thane O'Leary. Rob Lowe tries to draw the charge, but it's not given, but he do come away with the ball, the Wellington Saints. Through Shea Illy, will shoot the three. They just can't get it to drop from long range.
They can't get to the drop, but such strong work on the glass that time. Is tough call on Chris Early there, as Jordan Itai gets his feet moving in front. Solid charge. That off arm is what got that call for him, so the right call. Difficult always to get a charge that far away from the basket.
Well, Rob Lowe's been given a flop warning down in the post the other end, and he looks in anguish at his coach, and Paulie Henare just goes, I thought it was a flop too.
Yeah, it was definitely a flop. There's no question about that. Thane O'Leary was spinning off of him, had already changed direction when Rob Lowe fell, so I was actually surprised that the warning didn't happen during the play. Nice high-low action there. Perfect post by Nick Kay.
Good help defense from Thane O'Leary. He's not afraid to bring the ball up, is he, the big man? Number 20 for the Taranaki Mountaineers. Just a bit of a swipe there from Jordan Nartai.
He is not only not afraid, he is thirsty for it. Trying to show off that fitness.
20 years old, Thane O'Leary from New Plymouth. Been with the Mountaineers since 2016. Houston O'Reilly hits the deck, but finds Justin Cousin. That's heads up play from O'Reilly. Goes around the screen from O'Leary, but can't get the ball to drop.
Houston O'Reilly not 100% dealing with a few ailments himself, so not firing on all cylinders at the speed that you'd normally expect to see him playing at. And 0 for 6 from the field, which is certainly not something you'd expect to see from Houston O'Reilly.
Shea Illy, he's 26 years old and he's won 4 New Zealand NBL titles. Catching up with you, Casey.
I'm sure to pass one day, very soon. There's only 2 guys you really need to chase for the titles. It's Dylan Boucher and Lindsay Tate.
It might take a while. The 9 for Boucher and 11 for Tate?
Those are the guys at the top of the table for sure.
I'll tell you what, I wouldn't bet against Dylan Boucher coming out of retirement for number 10. Houston O'Reilly's found he can't get the miracle shot to fall.
If Phil Jones stays retired, I think Dylan Boucher will stay retired. But if either one comes out, the other one's going to come back for sure.
Please make that happen, though, Casey.
If I could, I would. Only on Wednesdays. .21 seconds left, 1-point lead. What a job by Taranaki coming in here undermanned. The fight has been solid.
Make that a 2-point lead as Ruben Tarangi checks into the game for Thomas Abercrombie. Not for Thomas Abercrombie, he's sent back on and they've now got 6 on the court. As Jordan Nate comes off.
1 possession left here for the Saints. It's interesting to see if he wants to put it in Shea Illy's hands and just have him run it down, work some on-ball action at the end, or do they want to pound it inside one more time to Nick Kay or Rob Lowe?
And he's getting the... Here it is. 8 seconds to go. Ruben Tarangi. Going to reset. Finds Rob Lowe out to Shea Illy for 3 on the buzzer. And he finds absolutely nothing, and that has summed up the Wellington Saints shooting in this first half. And they trail, very surprisingly, the Taranaki Mountainairs 39-37 at halftime here in Wellington. 0 for 14 from 3 are the unbeaten Wellington Saints. Let's throw it down here from Shea Illy, who's courtside with Casey.
Well, Shea, a difficult first half for you guys. Can you talk a little bit about what the Taranaki Mountainairs have done to keep you guys out of your rhythm?
Yeah, we're just not making shots, but you know, they're just coming out playing hard, and you know, we're a bit too relaxed at the moment. We know we need to come out in the third quarter and just lock them up.
On the offensive end, what are you going to do to not only make open shots, but offensively, is it going to be in terms of pace picking things up, or is there a little execution that you have to pick up?
I think it's not offense. You know, it's more defense. We just need to just stay locked in and just, you know, not let them get easy things. You know, they've hit a lot of shots. I don't know what their percentage is right now, but you know, for this team, I think 39 is too much in a quarter for our defense. You know, we're pretty good at defense, but just not tonight.
Thanks, Shea. Good luck in the second half. And Chris, we have you here as well. Great first half for you guys coming into this game a little bit undermanned. You have to be pleased with where you're at. Can you tell me a little bit about how you guys have gotten it done?
We just want to come out and be tough. We're down a point guard, so we want to just come out and be competitive, you know, give them our best fight, and, you know, we're in this at halftime.
Offensively, you guys have really done a good job of finding the open shooters. Is that what you guys are planning to do in the second half, or is it going to be more attacking in the rim?
Trying to, you know, stay competitive. You know, if we find open guys, we find open guys, but mainly we want to put pressure on the rim and, you know, make them guard us, you know, and just be tough.
All right, thanks. Good luck in the second half, Chris.
For more of the same will be the message, I'm sure, from Dave Bublitz as the Taranaki Mountainairs lead the Wellington Saints 39-37 in Wellington. Highlights after the break.
Investec Super Rugby, Saturday, Crusaders versus Rebels. Prime. I was looking for some money to visit my daughter.
If you need money, borrow from other everyday people at harmony.co.nz, New Zealand's largest peer-to-peer lender, with rates from only 6.99%.
Harmony is the place to go to when you want to borrow money.
Engineered to adapt to your body like no other chair, stressless recliners and sofas are designed for ultimate comfort. And right now, there's huge savings on the entire range. Stressless, designer comfort made in Norway, available nationwide.
You haven't been brushing your little one's baby teeth, have you? That can mess up their adult teeth, eh? Pretty easy to avoid, really. Just a little bit of fluoride toothpaste. Open up. Just some gentle brushing, morning and night, to protect their smile. Spit. Good man. I'm gonna go now. Night-night. Sleep tight.
Every boing. Every boom. Everything is energy.
You want to see the world your way. Look a little deeper and see what others miss. So, how do you choose to see the world? On an Avalon River cruise. Designed with your view in mind. Expansive, uncrowded, unpretentious, utterly unique. Just like it should be. Visit your travel agent or avalonwaterways.co.nz and start exploring the world your way.
Rugby or romance. No matter what you're streaming, it's great on a nice big Samsung TV. Get yours for free when you join Trustpower for unlimited data, broadband and power on a 24-month bundle plan. Terms, conditions and exit fees apply.
Support for taking on winter. Supports during ills and chills. Supports your body's defences. Just some of the great benefits of our trusted vitamin C range, now with a prebiotic and probiotic option, and immunity tea. From Healtheries.
G'day, Tony. Nice truck. Did you get a field day still? Yeah, you should get yourself one. I reckon there's a few Ks left in the old girl. Righto.
Pick up a doggone field days deal across the Holden, Colorado range. Like the LTZ 4x4 from an unbelievable $39,990 plus GST and on-roads. So see your Holden dealer today.
Light up your viewing with Prime Sport.
Well, welcome back to TSB Arena on Wellington's waterfront, where the Wellington Saints, the unbeaten Wellington Saints, find them somewhere they're not very used to being. Casey Frank down. They're down at halftime to the Taranaki Mountainairs, 39-37, and Xavier Shaw has been a big part of that for the Mountaineers in the first half, hasn't he, Casey?
Well, he's been very confident with the jump shot from the three-point line and mid-range as well, attacking the basket in the break in that early transition. I love that hesitation and the confidence afterwards if you're not going to respect the shot, but 9 points pretty quickly, getting off the butt, but they really need that offensive spark because they were unsure where that offensive ability was going to come from this evening.
The Wellington Saints have struggled mightily from three. There is a shining light for them. It has been Jordan Ngatai.
Well, a struggle from three is an understatement. 0 for 14 today, have not hit one yet, but Jordan Ngatai has done an excellent job cutting away from the basketball, scoring in transition, using his size advantage at times. You see that really nice post up off the out of bounds play. And following a missed dunk, came back, bounced back with this up a pretty balanced offensive effort for the Saints overall, but Jordan Ngatai leading the way with Ruben Tereni, 8 apiece.
39-37, the Taranaki Mountainairs lead the Wellington Saints, and we potentially have a shock on our hands here at TSB Arena in Wellington, live on the home of sport and the home of the Sky Sport Breakers, Sky Sport.
Mount Taranaki.
It will erupt. There's no reason to think that it won't erupt again within our lifetimes.
Sunday, the season premiere of Beneath New Zealand, Prime.
I feel like if I had this haircut, girls would definitely scream, but just for different reasons.
Tuesday, carpool karaoke when Corden met McCartney, Prime.
New Beast Mode Triton now has the best offer. $39,990 plus on-roads for 4-wheel drive GLXR manual. You get 18-inch alloys, tons of power and torque to tow 3.5 tons. You get intelligent safety, 10-year powertrain warranty, connectivity, creature comforts, and a beast of a ute. Get into your Mitsubishi Motors dealer fast.
Drive your ambition. Mitsubishi Motors.
With Expedia, it's easy to save on travel. Just book a flight and unlock discounts on select hotels that you can add to your holiday up until the day you leave. Only with Expedia.
Find your new bathroom at Mitre 10 Mega. From simple upgrades to bathroom renovations, we're here to help. Check out our showrooms or browse online. And if it's not in store, we'll special order it in for you. Get it done right with Mitre 10 Mega.
You go to great lengths to look after this place. As New Zealand's largest producer of 100% renewable power, so do we.
Go Harvey Norman's massive half-yearly sale. Big brand electrical stock on sale now. Big deals on our huge range of TVs and audio. Need new appliances? Washing machines and dryers on sale. Refrigeration and dishwashers, price smashed. Ovens, cooktops and range hoods, big discounts. Vacuums, small kitchen appliances and personal care on sale. Beat the cold with hot deals on heating and earn triple Air Points dollars on heat pumps. And buy now, pay later with no interest and no repayments for 15 months. Limited time only.
Tim woke with a nasty cold, but that won't stop him making her the best costume ever. Because even though Tim has a cold, Tim shows up when it matters. Soldier on, thanks to the powerful relief of Codral.
When my customer got a chip on her windscreen, she called Smith & Smith. With more convenient, easy-to-find locations than any other repairer, we fixed it fast. We're New Zealand's preferred vehicle glass repairer, so insist on Smith & Smith.
Smith & Smith replace. Next, US Border Force transport a hitman into the custody of Mexico's military. And later, highlights of the clash between India and South Africa.
Well, welcome back to TSB Arena in Wellington, where the Taranaki Mountainairs are halfway to what would be the biggest upset of the 2019 New Zealand NBL. They lead 39-37 over the unbeaten Wellington Saints, and Taranaki coach Dave Bubbles has done it with a four-man bench, a team riddled with sickness and injury.
Done it with all heart. This is a team that's doing it on effort and grind, keeping the Wellington Saints out of their offensive flow. Look at that, 0% from the three-point line, 0 for 14, despite decent looks. It'll be difficult to keep up that level of defensive perfection outside the arc for the Taranaki Mountainairs, but love the grit, love the grind, and I love to watch this second half and see what's going to happen if they're able to keep it up for another 20 minutes.
What defense has Paulie Henare come out with now? We saw earlier in the season, in fact we see most Paulie Henare coach games, this third quarter is where he really likes to strangle the opposition with pressure and wear them out ahead of the fourth quarter. I wonder if we'll see that now from the Wellington Saints as Houston O'Reilly gets us underway.
Well, the last thing you can do if you're the Mountaineers is come out a little bit satisfied with how you played in the first half. You've got to come out with even more intensity than you had in that first, because the Saints will certainly pick up their level of intensity.
There's O'Reilly trying to find Xavier Shaw, but he can't. Here comes Jordan Ngatai. Ili back to Ngatai, and it's the Saints who start the third quarter, the first points. And they're tied up at 39 all.
Defense to offense, what the Saints do so well, force those turnovers and get down to the offensive end in a quickness.
2 points from import Chris Early so far. And the Mountaineers is Houston O'Reilly. Bounces his way through, finds Shaw.
Slices and dices through the defense, and Xavier Shaw now in double digits after that finish.
There's Nick Kay down low.
How about that?
Brooks with the block.
Dane Brooks with mismatch. What mismatch do you speak of? I will block that shot.
Not only does he get the block, but he looks straight at Xavier Zora and says, where were you, bro? Why am I guarding your man?
It's an excellent question, but one which he had the answer to. Don't worry, buddy, I got your back.
Rob Lowe finds Shea Ili. Shea Ili goes in low, and there's an errant arm there from Shaw.
A solid foul. Shea Ili looked like he was going to have a very easy layup there, only the second foul for Xavier Shaw. He's done a nice job of being in the right position several times this evening, but needs to do a better job of moving his feet on those guards when he's being attacked. He tends to get a little flat-footed before that second counter move comes.
And what's going through Tom Abercrombie's head right now on the bench?
He's like, wow, 40-minute games alone. It's been a while. He's certainly getting settled in. As he spoke about before the game, he's very comfortable with the offense, with the majority of these players that he's with on the team. So it's going to be a pretty easy slide-in fit for him. But a matter of getting those legs back, getting his rhythm. And the same can be said for the Saints this evening. Need to get that rhythm going.
Houston O'Reilly's playing with that ball 2 inches off the ground. Brings it up.
Well, normally it's only 3 when he's dribbling, so not that big of a difference.
He's early. He's got Rob Lowe in front of him. Tries to go around the newly minted breaker, or returning breaker, I should say. Shea Ili, good hustle from him, and away comes Jordan Ngatai.
Oh,
goes straight into Houston O'Reilly, and that's going to be a charge.
Jordan Ngatai gets the favor repaid. He did that to Chris early in the first half and bowls over Houston O'Reilly with a nice job moving the feet. Look at that, takes it right into the chest. Good charge there, but the play previous to that, how about the hustle by Shea Ili? The undefeated team with a star point guard on the floor. None of the Taranaki Mountainairs were able to beat him to it.
Houston O'Reilly's already not feeling 100%. The last thing he wanted was Jordan Ngatai straight into his chest. It's an errant pass, and away goes Shea Ili for the Wellington Saints. Finds Taranaki.
Oh,
Chris Early gets up and swats it away. Ili throws the three-pointer up. Can't get it to drop.
Got to grab the ball.
It's Taranaki for 3. Can he make the first 3 of the night for the Wellington Saints? Yes, he can. 1 for 15.
The streak is over. May a new streak begin.
Houston O'Reilly's just making...
Foul called away from the basketball on Aaron Bailey-Knoll. He just goes in for the post-up. A little bit of a flop. I wouldn't want to say a flop, but picks up that 3rd foul.
Fully here, are they having a tete-a-tete with referee Hayden
There was a comment made by Aaron Knoll as he came through. Aaron Knoll complaining that Shea Ili wasn't trucked by him, that he just fell over. Having been in many a post situation with Aaron Knoll, I can probably say there was some level of contact.
And then as Aaron Knoll walked off, he might have thrown a comment the referee's way that Paul Henare heard and said, hey, you attacked me up for less.
Come on, Paulie. It's a whole body of work. It's never just that one statement.
It's his whole portfolio of texts. Here's Taranaki. Said at half-time that Wellington might look to ride a hot hand to get themselves underway in this 3rd quarter. And there's Rob Lowe wide open in the corner. And that drops as well. Back-to-back 3s to the Wellington Saints, and that'll give Dave Bublitz cause for worry for sure.
Well, the first one goes, and suddenly they're getting rolls as well. Solid offense, attacking mismatches, getting Rob Lowe an open corner 3.
The handles of Houston O'Reilly, it's been red hot to start the 3rd quarter as Chris Early spins around Ruben Taranaki. Can't get the ball to drop and is visibly frustrated as the import for the Wellington Saints, and Taranaki coach Dave Bublitz has done it with a four-man bench, a team riddled with sickness and injury.
Done it with all heart. This is a team that's doing it on effort and grind, keeping the Wellington Saints out of their offensive flow. Look at that, 0% from the three-point line, 0 for 14, despite decent looks. It'll be difficult to keep up that level of defensive perfection outside the arc for the Taranaki Mountainairs, but love the grit, love the grind, and I love to watch this second half and see what's going to happen if they're able to keep it up for another 20 minutes.
What defense does Paulie Henare come out with now? We saw earlier in the season, in fact we see most Paulie Henare coached games, this third quarter is where he really likes to strangle the opposition with pressure and wear them out ahead of the fourth quarter. I wonder if we'll see that now from the Wellington Saints as Houston O'Reilly gets us underway.
Well, the last thing you can do if you're the Mountaineers is come out a little bit satisfied with how you played in the first half. You got to come out with even more intensity than you had in that first, because the Saints will certainly pick up their level of intensity.
There's O'Reilly trying to find Xavier Shaw, but he can't. Here comes Jordan Ngatai. Ili back to Ngatai, and it's the Saints who start the third quarter, the first points. And they're tied up at 39 all.
And defense to offense, what the Saints do so well, force those turnovers and get down to the offensive end in a quickness.
2 points from import Chris Early so far. From the Mountaineers as Houston O'Reilly dances his way through, finds Shaw.
Slices and dices through the defense, and Xavier Shaw now in double digits after that finish.
There's Nick Kay down low.
How about that?
Brooks with the block.
Dane Brooks with mismatch. What mismatch do you speak of? I will block that shot.
Not only does he get the block, but he looks straight at Xavier Shaw and says, where were you, bro? Why am I guarding your man?
It's an excellent question, but one which he had the answer to. Don't worry, buddy, I got your back.
Rob Lowe finds Shea Ili. Shea Ili goes in low, and there's an errant arm there from Shaw.
A solid foul. Shea Ili looked like he was going to have a very easy layup there, only the second foul for Xavier Shaw. He's done a nice job of being in the right position several times this evening, but needs to do a better job of moving his feet on those guards when he's being attacked. He tends to get a little flat-footed before that second counter move comes.
And what's going through Tom Abercrombie's head right now on the bench?
He's like, wow, 40-minute games are long. It's been a while. He's certainly getting settled in. As he spoke about before the game, he's very comfortable with the offense, with the majority of these players that he's with on the team. So it's going to be a pretty easy slide-in fit for him. But a matter of getting those legs back, getting his rhythm. And the same can be said for the Saints this evening. Need to get that rhythm going.
Houston O'Reilly's playing with that ball 2 inches off the ground. Brings it up.
Well, normally it's only 3 when he's dribbling, so not that big a difference.
He's early. He's got Rob Lowe in front of him. Tries to go around the newly minted breaker, or returning breaker, I should say. Shea Ili, good hustle from him, and away comes Jordan Ngatai.
Oh,
goes straight into Houston O'Reilly, and that's going to be a charge.
Jordan Ngatai gets the favor repaid. He did that to Chris early in the first half, and bowls over Houston O'Reilly with a nice job moving the feet. Look at that, takes it right into the chest. Good charge there, but the play previous to that, how about the hustle by Shea Ili? The undefeated team with a star point guard on the floor. None of the Taranaki Mountainairs were able to beat him to it.
Houston O'Reilly's already not feeling 100%. The last thing he wanted was Jordan Ngatai straight into his chest. It's an errant pass, and away goes Shea Ili for the Wellington Saints. Finds Taranaki.
Oh,
Chris Early gets up and swats it away. Ili throws the three-pointer up. Can't get it to drop.
Got to grab the ball.
It's Taranaki for 3. Can he make the first 3 of the night for the Wellington Saints? Yes, he can. 1 for 15.
The streak is over. May a new streak begin.
Houston O'Reilly's just making...
Foul called away from the basketball on Aaron Bailey-Knoll. He just goes in for the post-up. A little bit of a flop. I wouldn't want to say a flop, but picks up that third foul.
Fully in, are they having a tete-a-tete with referee Hayden
There was a comment made by Aaron Noel as he came through. Aaron Noel complaining that Shea Ili wasn't trucked by him, that he just fell over. having been in many a post situation with Aaron Noel, I can probably say there was some level of contact.
And then as Aaron Noel walked off, he might have thrown a comment the referee's way that Paul Henade heard and said, hey, you attacked me up for less.
Come on, Paulie. It's a whole body of work. It's never just that one statement.
It's his whole portfolio of text. Here's Taranaki. Said at half-time that Wellington might look to ride a hot hand to get themselves underway in this third quarter. And there's Rob Lowe wide open in the corner. And that drops as well, back-to-back threes to the Wellington Saints, and that'll give Dave Bublitz cause for worry for sure.
Well, the first one goes, and suddenly they're getting rolls as well. Solid offense, attacking mismatches, getting Rob Lowe an open corner three.
The handles of Houston O'Reilly, it's been red hot to start the third quarter as Chris Early spins around Ruben Taranaki. Can't get the ball to drop and is visibly frustrated as the import for the Mountaineers. It's good defense from the much smaller O'Reilly the other end on Rob Lowe.
Rob Lowe picks up a foul away from the basketball, shoving his hip into the driving lane there. Or sorry, away from the hoop, right on the basketball, of course. Okay, still see a little bit of frustration out there for the Saints, even though they've been able to pick up a 6-point lead here. 3 minutes into the third quarter.
Timeout called by the Taranaki Mountaineers. Dave Bublitz wants to talk it over as they find themselves 6 points down, having led by 2 at half-time.
Dave Bublitz has been doing a nice job with the timeouts of trying to get his short-handed squad extended periods of rest, and this is certainly a period where they need it.
Yeah. Make yourself available here. Hand off or hold. If you're holding, you're going over here. Xavier, you're out here now. So you run and you loop and you stand here. Yep. If Chris can't get Chewy, Chris is throwing with you. You dribble and Chris plays off you. We need to get Chris at the rim. Okay, so you and Chris will end up here in a two-man game. Cool? Other guys space corners. Okay? Hey, if we can... Listen, that's in transition. Otherwise, let's get Luke. Let's get Luke. We need something good. Hey, way to win the storm. Here we go.
So going to the draw to win one of those electric scooters. Want to give away every home game this season.
Well, they're used to playing in front, the Wellington Saints. That's what they'll do now. The Mountaineers, more action to come this weekend. Huskies Rams tonight. That's the big one, or the big two really. They're playing each other twice this weekend. Once in Hobart, once in Launceston. Oh, Dave Brooks, nice round the back there. Finds Houston O'Reilly. Pump fakes his way into an open three. Can't get it to drop, but there's Dave Brooks again. Good hustle from Brooks, and the foul's called on Rob Lowe.
Rob Lowe can't believe that one, but Dane Brooks got hammered on his initial drive to the lane on the pass out. Didn't get that call, so less contact on that one, but possession retained.
Riley catch and shoot for three, and he finds the bottom of the net.
And just a relaxed possession by Shea Ely there. Houston O'Reilly hadn't really found the range up to that point, but able to hit his first out of it after 7 consecutive misses.
Elliott tries to answer that right back over Houston O'Reilly, and he does.
And after an 0 for 14 half, the threes are raining, and Rob Lowe is on the far side of the court trying to bait Chris Early into something silly.
Rob Lowe's fired up. And this time the foul's called on Nick Kay as things are getting a little feisty out there. Still quiet here in TSB Arena. Slightly shell-shocked by the resistance being put up by the Taranaki Mountaineers tonight.
Surprised by the score sheet, certainly, but also probably a little bit uninspired by the effort of the Saints up to this point.
Just Early threads the needle nicely.
Such patience by Dane Brooks there. The big up fake in Rob Lowe in the air, and then a solid finish after we lost him.
He's 22 years old, Dane Brooks. A good mature game out there tonight. Shea Houston O'Reilly. It's been a good battle so far tonight between those two. 7 on the shot clock, and Rob Lowe looks outside, finds Jordan Ngatai. He's called for the offensive foul, Rob Lowe.
Well, Chris Early gets the better of that little tete-a-tete. The possession before, Rob Lowe was trying to bait him into something. Now he's got his 4th foul and heads to the bench with just 5 points halfway through the third quarter.
Leon Henry checks into the game.
Not bad bringing Leon Henry off the bench for you. The ability to play multiple positions out there on the court, and another guy who can really shoot that three ball. So you see a 1-3-1 from the Saints right now.
Two-time Australian NBL champion, of course, Leon Henry with the New Zealand Breakers during their three-peat. It's a fall from Xavier Shaw, but they do get the foul call on Leon Henry.
Yeah, Quentin Bailey doing the hard work underneath on the rim. Foul's called on a shot. Apparently, or he's in the bonus now. Yeah, in the bonus, so that's a 5th one.
Scoreboard was a little slow to catch up, but they are in the bonus.
Knocks it down and hanging around. Taranaki just hanging around. That's all you want to do against a team that should easily get a win. The longer you hang around, the more mistakes they'll get. And hopefully, the tighter they get as well. And the Taranaki Mountainairs should be playing very freely.
Shea Ili shows his speed and just accelerates through the gap to a wide open lane. 52-48, the Saints lead the Airs.
No help off the on-ball for him there.
Xavier Shaw tries to find over the top to Houston O'Reilly, but he can't, and Taranaki comes away with it. There's Nick Kay in the lane. Oh, good help from Shaw. Steps in front and gets a big mid on the ball. Fascinating contest so far here at TSB Arena. As Justin Collins puts up the mid-rainer and finds the bottom of the net. Justin Cousin, I should say.
Well, Justin Cousin looks like he got fouled in that jumper as well, but difficult shot made.
Oh, it's Leon Henry with a forearm out in front and foul called on Cousin. Henry might be ruining not taking the wide open three.
Well, had he not gotten that forearm out, the contact was pretty much created by Cousin there. Probably would have been a defensive foul, but you see that forearm to push him off. Just wasn't comfortable enough without getting that physical push off of Cousin. So once again, solid defensive possession as it's needed most. They've got a chance to tie this one or possibly take the lead.
Tom Abercrombie back in the game on debut, of course, tonight for the Wellington Saints. The Breakers captain. Good hand there from Shea Ili. Just knocks it out of bounds.
And the Saints have put so much pressure on these passing lanes this evening, making all these passes very difficult, trying to get away from the defensive pressure on the ball, which has also been very solid.
18-year-old Oscar Robertson inbounds. Justin Cousin just trying to find the gap. He finds Mitch Dance. Drives in on Kay.
And just beats the shot clock.
Foul called just before the buzzer went.
Second foul on Nick Kay there.
There's a few yells from the crowd towards the referees as the foul count certainly stacks up against the Wellington Saints so far in this third quarter.
A few charges in there as well, but like foul called on Ruben Tarangi on that one, sorry, not Nick Kay.
8-2. The Saints lead the foul count so far in the second half. Mitch Dance misses both. Will swat it out. Tom Abercrombie can't save it.
Well, he wants to come back to the commentary booth, I think. He missed you.
Well, I did think, is he the second time we've had a player go from booth to court in recent years after your foray back into the Australian NBL a few years ago?
Tommy's was slightly more expected.
Here's Oscar Robertson, 18 years old, born in the United Kingdom on the south coast in Brighton. Oh, it's a lovely finish there from Quentin Bailey.
Solid post play.
These Taranaki team are not going away. There's Kay. Oh, he goes up easily and throws it down with one hand. There's Nick Kay.
Well, you just see the work rate put in for Taranaki every time they get a bucket. Down on the other end, where the Saints do execute well, it looks so easy. The defense just needs to do a better job of seeing the ball from the weak side.
Cousin drops it in to Bailey. Thane O'Leary, the big toe on the line to Thane O'Leary.
And once again, not handling the ball cleanly. With a chance to take that lead, tie the ball game up. An unforced turnover once again. Dave Bublitz talked about it when we had the pleasure of interviewing him at the quarter time. Need to take better care of the basketball, but it has not been the case. That's the 16th turnover for the Taranaki Mountainairs this evening.
Leon Henry goes in and gets rid of Chris Early.
And Chris Early tried to take a charge, even though he didn't really take a charge.
Well, they definitely turned some heads earlier in the season, didn't they? The Taranaki Mountainairs, when they got rid of 2 of their imports, 2 out of their 3 imports. They stuck with Chris Early, and he's not having the greatest game tonight. 1 for 5, just 2 points. But he has had good games. It was a bold move from the Mountaineers, wasn't it?
Well, I'll tell you somebody who's not going to take nonsense from some players, and that's Dave Bublitz. So he's if the effort's not there, if what you need to be as a professional isn't there, he's not going to bother wasting time with you. And he's dedicated to these young players he has in New Plymouth, and certainly the decision he would have made, I would expect would have been based on that.
Yeah, Oscar Robertson spinning on Tom Abercrombie, but Abercrombie gets up and swats the attempted layup away.
And Oscar Robertson getting a taste of what defense at that next level looks like, a level up from there. He makes a nice move, gets into the lane, and felt like he had shed the defender. But the athleticism and length of Thomas Abercrombie is able to reach from behind for that block.
Well, if he's a 10th of the player his namesake was, we're on to a winner, I think, with Oscar Robertson. Jordan Nartine, those woes from 3-point land, maybe now playing on the Saints' minds as they're turning down wide open threes. Jordan Nartine instead choosing to go in, finish with a right-handed floater. It's Chris Early. Is he going to inject himself into the game? Well, that's one way to do it. He can't get the finish.
Foul's called on the baseline, however. Would have been an acrobatic finish had he been able to get that one. Look at this, up and under. Takes the contact. Just slides off the front of the rim as Nick Kay now picks up his 2nd foul to go along with 9 points.
30 years old.
6 rebounds.
30 years old, Chris Early from Huntington, West Virginia. Spent some time in the Canadian NBL for the St. John Riptide.
Well, that sounds cold.
I'm not sure where in Canada it is, but I do like the name Riptide.
I remember one time my agent called me and told me that the IBL team was the International Basketball League in Saskatchewan had gotten my rights, and I said, thank you, but no. I do not think I'm interested in playing there.
1 for 2 from the line. That's Chris Early. 4 years at college in Chattanooga. Houston O'Reilly from Lambton Key. Can't get it to fall. And away come the Wellington Saints. Just Tarangi driving on Early. Maybe 1 too many steps, but nothing picked up. And Leon Henry from the baseline can't get it to drop. And Thane O'Leary wrestles the way out of there and tosses it out of bounds.
A lot of enthusiasm. Dave Bublitz likes it. He likes the ability of this young player to come out of the pack and start that break. Just needs to bridle that enthusiasm just a bit and make a better decision there. But he's offered a lot with that ability to break out of the rebound with the basketball. If he can hone that in and cut down the turnovers, a nice weapon for him in this game.
58-53, the Wellington Saints lead with just under 90 seconds to go in this 3rd quarter. 7 seconds on the shot clock. Jordan Tarangi tries to fashion himself an open chance against O'Leary. Good defense from the big 20-year-old though.
And that is probably got away with a foul there, but it's been that kind of night. A lot of physicality. A grindy game.
And who do we favour if it is close towards the end, Casey? Will the nerves or the worry creep into the Wellington Saints while the Mountaineers can keep playing fearlessly?
Well, I'd probably go to conditioning at that point, and you'd think that the Wellington Saints have a bit of a deeper bench, even though they're down a man this evening as well.
There's Abercrombie for 3, comes off the front iron.
If you look at it now, you see the Saints struggling a little bit to get in those transition.
O'Reilly throws it up.
Oh, count it! Take the points any way you can get them. How did he put that in?
I am not entirely sure how that went in. Let's have a look. All right, he throws it up. Brooks went for the one-handed slam, but he was about a foot under the rim.
That is the first time I've ever seen stick-to-itiveness just by the basketball.
I think we're counting that as a dunk.
That is definitely on the rim, 2 points.
7 seconds on the shot clock. Rim Taranaki fancies a bit of isolation ball. He's got Chris early in front of him. Steps back for three. Can't get it to drop, but there's Nick Kay, and it's the end of the third quarter. 58 points to 55. The Wellington Saints lead the Taranaki Mountainairs. We have a contest here in the capital.
Domino's #1 complaint is my pizza doesn't look like it should. We hear you.
That's why we created Dom Pizza Checker, a smart scanner that checks the quality of every pizza.
Test us with any large pizza from $15 delivered.
Because we're hungry to be better.
What are you doing? You said Vicks Vapor Drops will clear the nose and soothe the throat. You put them in your mouth. Really? Yeah. Ah, out of the pack. That's easier. Vicks Vapor Drops. Feel the effect in seconds.
BK Cheeseburger Stunner Meal, just $5. Or for $6.50, switch it out for a crispy chicken burger. Or a Whopper Junior for the same price. Plus, you can swap your Sunday for nuggets. Everyday value all day at Burger King.
58-55. Wellington lead Taranaki. Dave Bublitz, the message to his team, they are gassed, keep them moving.
Easy to say, tough to do, because I believe Taranaki's a bit gassed themselves.
We'll make sure you take a look at the Kiwi Basketball Show. 7:30 on Tuesday on Sky Sport, and Wednesday on Prime. Look at all things New Zealand NBL and WBC, the Women's Basketball Championship. Hear from some of the players and see all the highlights, any games you missed over the weekend. And wherever you get your podcasts, you can also listen to Limited Minutes, the official podcast of the New Zealand NBL. A lot of Tall Blacks chats in recent episodes as well. And talk, of course, around the Sky Sport Breakers. All things New Zealand basketball discussed.
It's that time of year. The World Cup is on the horizon. Tall Black training camps are getting prepared.
And Paulie Henare has the unenviable job of squeezing a bunch of very talented players into a 12-man roster. And Paulie Henare, we won't talk about the Tall Blacks now, talk about the Wellington Saints, and these Taranaki Mountainairs aren't going away, are they?
No, they're playing really well. I think, you know, we've let a few frustrations get to us. And they're playing with confidence right now. So, you know, it's a good little test for us. The defense has been good. I haven't seen the stats after the last quarter, but offensively, we're obviously struggling with some rhythm and for some shots to go down. So, you know, it's a good little test for us.
Yeah, just 3 for 21 from the three-point line you guys are tonight. Is this a aspect
I could play.
Well, you could play. You couldn't do these dunks like Tommy got right there, but what you did have is a lot of defensive effort. Have you been impressed by the Taranaki Mountainairs' ability to get you guys out of your stuff so far this evening?
To be honest, my gut feel is that I don't feel like they've taken us out of our stuff. You know, we've allowed those frustrations to get to us, and you know, every now and then we give up easy buckets like that one. And you know, I don't know how many open shots we've missed, but you know, it does seem like a fair few.
Thanks, Paulie.
Cheers, Paulie.
Appreciate your time. As John Ngatai fires it off the front rim. Tom Abercrombie starting the fourth quarter, looking to get himself involved. It's the second steal and breakaway dunk of the game. The new Wellington Saints, as Dane Brooks drives in, and that's his second bucket of the quarter as well. How impressed have we been with that young man today?
Well, he's got so much athleticism. He just doesn't even know what to do with it, but a really soft touch on the alley-oop finish just before that, and slices to the defense for two there as Shea really turns it over by stepping on the line on this possession.
It is a one-point game in the capital, and need I remind you, the Wellington Saints are 10-0, and the Taranaki Mountainairs have 2 wins this season.
That's why we play them, because you never know what's going to happen till you roll that ball out in between the lines.
Here is Brooks, the 22-year-old New Plymouth native. Comes the You call him a veteran now, Houston O'Reilly. He's only 29 years old, but he has been around. Chris Early shoots and shoots long, not having a good game, Chris Early. Despite that, his team doing very well as Abercrombie draws a foul from O'Reilly.
Houston O'Reilly looked like a solid brick wall there. Tommy Abercrombie got a little bit of whiplash. Ooh, that was really awkward.
It's a bit of knee-on-knee action there.
Yeah,
I
looked like his foot got a little twisted up. I'd like to see that again to see exactly what happened down low. It looked like Houston O'Reilly might have stepped on Houston O'Reilly's foot, but ooh, just really awkward. Yeah, ooh, a little bit of an ankle twist for Thomas Abercrombie.
He's a finely tuned machine, is Thomas Abercrombie.
Yeah, it's that vehicle doesn't drive straight if the wheels go out of alignment on this guy. So that's part of getting yourself back into basketball shape, is getting used to those awkward falls, the bangs, the bumps, the bruises.
He's got plenty more of those coming with his third child on the way later this year. Here's Chris Early. Oh, there's Aaron Bailey-Knoll. Oh, there's a lovely pass off to Dane Brooks again. That's 18 for Dane Brooks. He's 8 for 8.
Wow. 8 for 8. The ball just wants to find the hoop for him, as we saw on that alley-oop that almost was, and then it was.
Shea Illy puts it through his own player's legs, and Houston O'Reilly thinks better of going at Nick Kay. Instead, steps back for 3. Can't get it to fall, and Brooks gets the rebound, but
first miss of the night.
This has got Tom Abercrombie just swatting it away from behind.
Oof, what a turn of events there. Had the chance to take the lead on the Dane Brooks tip. Thomas Abercrombie with a fantastic defensive play from behind, and then on the other end, the sidestep by Shea Ely. Steps to the side, forces the defensive effort.
Bit of a hit check there from Xavier Shaw, wasn't it?
Tried to slide over, but just didn't have the quickness or the timing to get in front of him, and Shea Ely goes to the line to finish the three-point play.
And that play before, though, that's one of the many advantages Tom Abercrombie brings to a team. Just his springiness, even at the age of 31, he still can jump out of most gyms.
31. Still thinking of him as a young fella. I guess it's because he's ageless. Look at him.
He's been with the
Been
with the New Zealand Breakers since 2011. 21 Finals MVP in the 2010-2011 season. Xavier Shaw, he's got Nick Kay in front of him, he spins on him, bumps into him. Good defense from the Perth Wildcat, and away he goes, round the back, the big man. 64-61, the Wellington Saints lead, trying to make it 11 in a row in the 2019 version of South New Zealand NBL. As Nick Kay goes in, fadeaway jumper, can't get it to drop. Good defense there from Aaron Bailey-Knoll and Dane Brooks.
Still putting in the hard yards. The bodies are there, the effort is there. But Taranaki desperately needs a bucket, I think, at this point.
There's Brooks. Is it going to come from him? He shoots the 3 with a screen in front of him. He drills it. Does Dane Brooks has 21 points on 9 and 10 shooting.
Ties it up. Having a night to remember is the young fella, Dane Brooks, and capitalizing on the athleticism with some skill.
And I'm yet to see a flash of emotion across his face. He is dialed in. Here's Kay. On Shea Ely, and then sets a screen for him. Ely puts it up and gets it to drop. That's 2 points.
Shea's shown real confidence in the jump shot this evening.
There's Houston O'Reilly playing sick, of course, tonight. And a good stint in has O'Reilly, been leading the offense out there for the Mountaineers. Early goes in and draws a foul.
A little bit of confusion by the Saints defenders. Not quite sure where that one happened, but...
And all in all, Casey, it's just seemed a flat performance from the Wellington Saints, and I think Paulie Hinebe alluded to it when we spoke to him at the start of this quarter.
Timeout called by Paul Henare here to talk about, a flat emotionally possibly. I mean, the effort is there. They're playing at a reasonably high work rate. You see him banging bodies, taking charges, getting on the offensive glass, but the crispness isn't there. You don't see that real dedication to the craft on the offensive side, and always a little bit late defensively as well.
Well, we talked about the sickness going through the Taranaki Mountainairs. Paulie Henare did tell us before the game tonight that the virus has been going through their team as well. Let's listen in to the Saints and Tall Blacks coach.
Attack in a minute. Big pop out of it, throw back. You haven't got drive. Straight back into that dribble, hand up, and then attack through the seam that way. Okay? Okay? So, I want to play up, the horns up. What about this side? All right, get it back. Get it back. Go Leon, attack. Throw it back to Robbie, and then hard up that dribble, hand up. Get it back here. Leon's going to go. Robbie comes in, attack. Throw it back, and then hard dribble, hand up.
Saints on 3, 1, 2, 3.
Just under 6 minutes to go. TSB Arena in Wellington. The Saints lead by 2 over the Taranaki Mountainairs. Not one that would have been tipped to be a close one, but it certainly has been on that man's debut and return to the New Zealand NBL for the first time since 2011. The Airs head up to Palmerston North on Saturday to take on the Jets. This is the one and only game for the Saints this round.
And you know, looking at the Saints team, I think the one thing we're really underestimating this evening is the effort level that you get from Sunday Dench. You know, speaking to the players, the team, this is the guy who gives 110% at all times, just does everything they ask him to do on the court, and is a real rising talent in Australia. So not having him tonight, I think has certainly affected the mindset and the tenacity of the Saints team.
Both teams missing a player through sickness. Sunday Detch for the Saints and Alonzo Burton. Normally a starter for the Mountaineers, out with sickness. There's Rob Lowe wide open for 3. He can't get it to 4, but Shea Ili grabs the rebound, and Rob Lowe's 1 for 4 from 3 tonight. He's got good position down low though. Oh, good hands from Leon Henry, and there's the, we talked about the springs of Tom Abercrombie. He's got enough time in the air to just move that ball around Thane O'Leary.
Created by unselfishness though. What a pass by Rob Lowe to start, and then Leon Henry to finish.
He's early, telling Houston O'Reilly where he wants it. He shoots the 3, Chris Early. And now will be a great time for him to get hot for Dave Bublitz and the Taranaki Mountaineers.
Oof, excellent look. All but down that one was. Tough night for Early.
1 for 7 on the night, over 2 from 3-point land.
1 for is all over the place. 1 for 11 for Houston O'Reilly. Not what you want in a close game like this from guys that you really depend on for buckets.
Abercrombie.
Let's go, Saints!
Shea Ili and Justin Cousin. Give and go from Rob Lowe. He dropped it into him nicely, and Chris Early's going to get called for the foul. Rob Lowe's going to make the bucket as well. Nice work from the Tall Black and Breakers big man.
A good finish through the contact. Chris Early tried to foul him, just didn't quite foul him hard enough, and enabled him to finish the ball. Force its way into the basket. Rob Lowe now with a chance to stretch this lead out to 6.
Good to see him back playing for the Sky Sport Breakers this year. Of course, you'll see 14 Breakers games live and free to air on Prime as well, plus any games they play in the finals. Sky Sport cements itself as the home of basketball. Justin Cousin. Chris Early with the offensive foul and the illegal screen called.
Shea Ili really sold that one. 4th foul on Chris Early on that on-ball screen.
Just a look of exasperation, like resignation to his coach.
Looked like a solid screen. I just don't think Shea Ili was expecting it.
Yeah.
And,
the call was certainly made after the reaction more than the actual deed itself. All right, it's in the books now, and we continue. 71-65, the Saints lead. Abercrombie elevates from the free throw line.
Oh, suddenly it's a whistle fest against the Taranaki Mountainairs. Away from the basketball, this time looked like a solid block out, but tough to tell from this angle if it was a little bit of extra mustard on that hot dog. Taranaki, after having so much discipline throughout the game, has just lost a little bit of that here with this stretch of fouls in the last couple of minutes.
Nick Kay comes in as Leon Henry takes the seat for the Saints, and Aaron Bailey-Knoll is in for the Taranaki Mountainairs, affectionately known as Auntie. You shed some light on why he's known as Auntie, Casey, do you know?
I do not know. They told me that was his name was, and I shook his hand, so I was like, well, okay. That is a strong grip. I will call you whatever you tell me to.
Spent a bit of time around Tall Blacks camps in your days, did he?
Yeah, he's been to a few Tall Blacks camps, and it's just always known as a fierce competitor. Just a player that I really cherished playing against because of the effort level he put out there. You always knew you were going to get his best.
He works himself into a foul there. Might be a shooting foul here. They're just discussing whether they're in the bonus or not.
Just a mistake by the score bench. Had the bonus foul up there. But we're going to get a... That is not yet the case. Only the second team foul on the Saints here in the quarter.
Well, Rob Lowe out there. He's on 4 fouls.
As is Leon Henry, who's not out there, but still.
Chris Early also on 4, he's currently on the bench.
Ruben Tarani sitting there with 3 fouls himself, still playing.
Dane Brooks has had a fantastic night here in Wellington, inbounds it. Justin Cousin gets it back off him as well. As Brooks has got Abercrombie in front of him. Goes around the screen, and that's an illegal screen on Xavier Shaw, and the whistles aren't going Taranaki's way, and Coach Dave Bublett steps out from the bench just to raise his eyebrows.
Tough for the players. 4th foul on Xavier Shaw there, but I feel like looking at it now, the game had been officiated one way for 3.5 quarters, and now down the stretch, it's suddenly gotten a little bit more ticky-tacky, very difficult for the players to adjust to.
There's Kay, he's got a mismatch on Brooks, but didn't bother Brooks the first time. Well, worked in the advantage of Kay the second.
How about another block on Nick Kay in the post? And Brooks, Nick Kay stopper on the first one, maybe not the second.
3 minutes 30 to go, and the Mountaineers need something. They need it soon. They trail by 10. It's 4th quarter. Wellington Saints just pulling away. Can Justin Cousin claw it back? No, he can't. Away comes Shea Illy and the Wellington Saints, looking to make it 11 in a row. Abercrombie spinning on Brooks. Number 10 v number 10. The Saints tend to get the best of that battle, and that's point number 12 for Tom Abercrombie on debut tonight.
Well, solid effort from the Saints. Look how many guys they have in double figures now. 6 players in double figures of the 7 that have played.
Well, let's hear what Taranaki coach Dave Bublett says to say to his team.
Auntie, throw and goes. If you haven't got anything out of that, throw and go. Over here. Yep, with Chris. Dane. There. Get in there, dunkers. Let's get in the dunkers there. Yep, so we need quick stuff now. We need to go out the room. Down here, hey! Down here. Then switch everything with the ball. Switch everything with the ball. With the ball, not without the ball. Switch everything with the ball. Just stay in front. It's making shoot over top of us. All right? Hey! Almost hit. It's not going to stop.
You're all cheering there, Gorilla. Give it up for Luca.
There's Magilla the Gorilla. Still yet to have my question answered that I asked earlier in the season. Why the Wellington Saints mascot is a gorilla?
Well, I don't know if you know this, but the original King Kong filmed here.
Is that the reason? Because that's a great, that would be a great reason. You got my
But the
hopes up.
second King Kong was filmed here by Peter Jackson. Does that count?
I'm not sure if that's the reason. 2 minutes 45 to go. 12 points. The Wellington Saints lead by Xavier Shaw, goes to Shea Illy, and he's fouled by Shea Illy.
Shea Illy was on the wrong side of a Aaron Bailey Noel post up to start that possession. He's looking a little bit the worse for wear. I think Auntie might have made up for the one earlier he called a flop.
11 points for Xavier Shaw so far tonight. Very effective early on in this game. This has been a spirited effort from the Taranaki Mountainairs, and it's by no means over yet. Plenty more basketball to be played in this fourth quarter. 10-point game. Starting lineup out there for the Wellington Saints. I expect to see all 5 of those in the World Cup later this year as Jordan Nartai shoots the 3, can't get it to drop, and it's good hustle from Bailey Knoll to bring the rebound in.
To show a little bit of urgency offensively. Can't take too much time as the clock is going against them.
O'Reilly to Shaw.
Oh my.
Just couldn't get that one to drop, and they needed that, the Mountaineers.
And perfect execution, brilliant shot. Xavier Shaw just unable to finish the bunny.
There's Rob Lowe.
Let's go, Saints.
By Shea Illy. Finds Nick Kay. Couldn't get it to drop the Australian big man. And he's on the floor. Houston O'Reilly looks to capitalise on the extra man. Chris Early for 3. The back eye, can't get it to drop.
Oh, and teammates fighting each other for the rebound as well. Dane Brooks and Xavier Shaw either could have had that easily.
The Saints will be happy to take their time here, Casey. And it's Ruben Tarangi with the ball. Tries to tip it in on a volleyball pass from Nick Kay to Nartai in the corner.
Not sure why the whistle was blown, but got a sub on that one.
$80-67. The Mountaineers, for all their effort tonight, find themselves 13 points down, make that 11 points down.
Antino with the floater. Arcs it high. Floated over the defense.
Just over a minute to go. They're going to be patient here, the Saints.
Need to see some kind of urgency defensively from the Mountaineers.
And Shea Illy is going to shoot the 3 with that trademark early release. He's early gets the rebound, and the Mountaineers need to get going. Houston O'Reilly's been going all night. So is this man, Dane Brooks, as he drives M1. Makes the bucket. That's 22 for Dane Brooks.
The fight never stops. 23 on that one. We count by 2s now. Big buckets. Get a chance to go to the free throw line and pick up his 24th point of the ball game, and
10 for 11.
What an effort from him from the field.
To go with 8 rebounds. 22-year-old from New Plymouth. Can't get that to fall. 80 points to 71. 40 seconds to go, and it looks like number 11 is going to be in the books for the Wellington Saints. Certainly hasn't been the easiest win of the year as Dane O'Leary takes a tumble. Passing from the Saints is Illy, back to Tarangi, shoots the 3 from the top, and down it goes. And timeout called by Dave Bublitz. Might be too little too late, Casey. 83-71.
I like the unselfishness of the Saints there. He's trying to get some execution going now down the stretch, but 12 points, 27 seconds to go. The Saints have done enough this evening to get that victory. The crowd loves it.
Oh, they've had a chance to get back into it, haven't they, in this fourth quarter? It's really been the only quarter that Wellington have dominated.
And I think it was a battle. It was when it comes down to it, it was a bit of a war of attrition. The Saints not at 100%, not a full strength roster, neither were Taranaki, but as the game went on, as the game wore on, just the body level and the talent level of the Wellington Saints ends up winning out over the grittiness of the Taranaki Mountainairs.
Well, there were several who thought this would be a victory of around 30 to 40 points. I mean, this is a Wellington Saints team that beat the reigning champions by 45 points just a few rounds ago. So the Mountaineers have come in and put on an extremely spirited performance.
I do like the way they came in with physicality. There was no quitting them at any point in time. Just got let down a little bit by their execution.
Dane Brooks driving low. Dane O'Leary for 3. It's going to fall desperately short. Well, Dane Brooks has had himself a phenomenal game tonight. 23 points, 10 of 11 shooting. It hasn't been enough for the Taranaki Mountainairs, who might get the last say in this game at TSB Arena. Houston O'Reilly for three. Down it goes.
I should have done more of that, Houston.
And as the time runs out here, and the coaches shake hands, it's the Wellington Saints who make it 11 in a row to celebrate the debut of Tom Abercrombie. 83-74, the Saints win.
Your winners and still undefeated, your Sika Saints!
As I said, Dane Brooks, what a performance for the Taranaki Mountainairs, who, with their inexperienced roster relative to this Saints team, stacked with international talent. Dane Brooks ever so close to being named our sales MVP, but in the end, the award had to really go to Shea Ili. 19 points for Shea Ili to go with 7 rebounds and 7 assists. Shot at 43% as well. He was 1 for 7 from 3, however. But the rest of his game got a Wellington Saints side who were certainly not on top of their game tonight, but got them over the line. But that team there in yellow and black will be very proud of their performance tonight. Let's go down to our sales NBL game MVP. Shea Ili's with Casey.
Well, Shea, probably not the way you guys expected to happen. There was a lot of physicality in that game. Can you tell me how you guys persevered and overcame it in the fourth quarter?
You know, we just had to stick to our, our beliefs, and just had to move the ball around and just find our way of getting that ball in their bucket. And it happened, but it was ugly, but we got it done.
Do you feel good about the way the Saints were able to overcome what was a really poor shooting night? At one point in the fourth quarter, you guys were 3 for 21, and still found a way to win. How were you able to do it?
Like I said before, we share that ball around, and we're a great team, and we love sharing that ball around, and we love looking at that stat sheet and seeing the team assists, and that's how we play, and we live off our defense as well, and that creates our offense, and that's how we found our way.
And a very solid score sheet. You had 6 out of the 7 players who played in double figures tonight. As a point guard on that team, do you feel a lot of pressure to get everybody involved, especially with Thomas Abercrombie coming in now?
Like I said before, we just got to move that ball around, and we'll find the open guy, and we showed that towards the end there, and it happened.
Sweet, Shea. Thanks a lot. Congratulations on being tonight's MVP.
19 points for Shea Ili on 6 and 14 shooting. While it wasn't a vintage Wellington Saints performance, it got the job done, and it made it 11 wins in a row. 7 rebounds and 7 assists for the Breakers point guard as well, who continue his campaign for back-to-back NZNBL MVP awards. Wellington Saints taking the lollies there, 83-74. We'll hear from more players after the break, live on Prime and on the home of sport, Sky Sport.
Knock, knock. Who's there? Atch. Bless you. Hey, kids. Do you know what time it is?
It's time to scratch that embarrassing itch. Oh, yeah. Huh?
What? Oh, no. Come on, guys, cut it out.
That was so wrong. I love it.
Sigh.
It's time for Prime Kids. Monday to Saturday from 6 a.m.
I can see the look in your eyes, like a bright fire, and we're gonna escalate.
What a magnificent goal for New Zealand. Well, and there is the try.
Light up your viewing with Prime Sport.
Welcome to Fool It, where magicians take on Penn and Teller
Mano a mano.
One by one.
I'm Australian.
They tried a trick.
They don't make cameras that are invisible.
It's a lot of investigating.
The masters at their own game.
The only way to get a passing grade is to pull one over on our pair of professors.
This has been the best opportunity. So good, man. So good.
Friday, the series premiere of Penn and Teller, Full Us. Prime. A small crack quickly becomes a catastrophe.
Water blew through this hatch opening.
City officials were completely baffled.
Where is it coming from?
An English village is falling into the sea.
That was the kitchen. Suddenly it went over the edge.
And a slow-burning engineering error in Pennsylvania
Nearly the entire town is gone.
becomes a ring of fire.
Real witch's brew coming out of that.
Saturday, all new massive engineering mistakes. Prime.
The Earth is a very violent place.
Nature.
Nature is a beast.
Brutal.
All hell broke loose.
Savage.
The consequences can be tragic.
Deadly.
I said people are going to die today.
Feel nature's full force.
Hail probably the size of a cricket ball bounced to where we're standing.
And hear the unbelievable tales of survival.
It's just like, bang.
That was terrifying. There was nowhere to go. It was the scariest part.
Andrew had broken his back.
Saturday, world's wildest weather. Prime. It's the biggest country on Earth, twice the size of the USA, sprawling over 11 time zones. And seen from the air, it's a true wonder.
Sir Winston Churchill once described Russia as a riddle, wrapped in a mystery, inside an enigma. For migratory birds, Russia's vastness is a gift. Nowhere in Europe do they have as much space as here.
Prime Planet. Sunday, all new, Russia from above. When the out of this world...
What do we got? Big bad mojo.
...gets out of hand...
Nice to see you again, Kay.
They're the ones to call.
Let's make it hot.
Back in business.
Let's make it hot, Captain.
Back in action.
Don't worry about a thing, folks. I used to live here, came by to pick up a few things.
Back in black.
Not bad. Does that go standard?
Actually, it came with a black dude, but he kept getting pulled over.
Wednesday, Men in Black 2. Prime.
Welcome back to TSB Arena in Wellington, where those fellas in blue, the Wellington Saints, have avoided what would have been a major upset with an 83-74 win over the Taranaki Mountainairs. That was certainly hard to come by. I'll tell you why it was hard to come by. You can probably work it out yourself. Look at that three-point percentage for the Saints, just 18%. 5 for 27 they were from beyond the arc. They managed to claw it all back in that fourth quarter. Well, the man who might have lost a bit of hair, if he had any, is Paulie Henare, who's down with Casey Frank.
Well, Nadi, tonight's effort was difficult. Thinking about the game, I'm wondering if you guys missed Sunday Dench a little bit more than you thought you would, or if it was difficult to get Thomas Abercrombie into the flow on this one. Do you think that may have affected you guys' performance this evening?
Yeah, I think a little bit of both. Sonny's been awesome for us, with that impact that he's had off the bench. And any time you bring a new player into a team, Tommy arrived here on Tuesday. You could bring LeBron James into our team, and there's going to be some sort of adjustment all around. So, but I can't take anything away from Taranaki on that one. I thought they came out here and played well. Dane Brooks was outstanding, and if it wasn't for our pressure and ability to get deflections and force them into some turnovers, it probably would have been a lot closer.
Yeah, that defense intensity really helped you. Can you talk about the strategy on ball? You weren't really doing a lot of double teams away, but the pressure in the lanes was really intense. Is that something you're looking for against every team going on from this season, or is that going to be your staple defensively?
Yeah, we're just trying to, as soon as the other team gets the ball, we want to, start our defense straight away. And, I thought Shea was obviously off Cousin at the start of the game, and so we didn't come out with the right mindset. He got a couple of easy looks and knocked those down, and that sort of set a tone, unfortunately, for a period of that first half. But once the boys locked in and stayed locked into that defensive intensity, we started to get a little bit more offense out of that in the second half, which I didn't think we did a good job. I think we had 9 steals in the first half and only 10 points off those 9 steals. So being able to convert that defense into offense is big for us.
And then lastly, I'm just curious about what your job as a head coach and how you keep a team that's undefeated and sitting on top of the league and really rolling along. How do you keep them focused? How do you keep them that mindset on that razor's edge as the season comes down to the business end?
Yeah, I think just going through the same process. After every game, whether it be a good game, a great game, or an average game, there'll be plenty to learn from this game and every game we've had this year. So, just keeping that edge on the practice floor, making sure every practice is competitive, which these guys do really well.
All right, thanks for your time, Paulie. Good luck with this year.
It was great to hear from Paulie Henare, the Tall Blacks and Wellington Saints coach, and he mentioned the young man Dane Brooks, 22-year-old from New Plymouth, and with his Tall Blacks hat on, I wonder if we'll keep an eye on him for future years, because what a game the New Plymouth native had. 23 points, 10 for 11, and he's with Casey.
Dane, tough night for you this evening. Good for you personally, but overall, the Taranaki Mountainairs just couldn't get it done down the stretch. Can you tell us how it faltered down there?
Most of the time, I thought we played pretty good considering previous weeks. Against the Hawks last week, we stuck with them till half time, and then we got blown out because we just put our head down, started giving up on plays. But we stuck through with it a bit more, something we definitely need to improve on. First half was a bit dodgy from both teams. I think the 0 from 11 from 3 in the first half, so we're fortunate there. And yeah, we stuck with them for the most part through the second half, and just sticking 4 quarters is just what we need to improve on.
Yeah, certainly I think an effort you guys can hang your hats on, coming in here a bit under strength against the Saints squad. Expected to get blown out, but really good, putting up a good fight. For you personally, offensively, a really nice evening. You were able to get 23 points on 10 for 11 shooting. Can you tell me what you're looking for in your offensive game as you develop as a player?
Most of the time, just taking my opportunities within the offense. They were playing super aggressive, especially on the perimeter, which draws to my game. I prefer to take it to the hoop rather than shoot threes. Had to shoot a couple tonight, but they sunk, so that's basketball, I suppose. But yeah, definitely look to be aggressive for the most part, and looking to be more aggressive within the offense and not to interrupt the flow of the offense of everyone else's game within the team.
And to finish up, just what can you take from tonight's game and build on for the remainder of the season as you guys look to improve on this one and get some wins on the books?
The mentality, just not giving up. We've only got one import, tough loss early in the season. We just need to believe in ourselves that we are a good team. We got the players, we got the talent, and that we can take it to the best team in the league.
Well, good effort tonight, and best of luck with the rest of the year.
They certainly took it to the best team in the league, and they get to do that